just ran into my friend Chud. She's from Zimbabwe. She's how I know about the crazy shit over in Africa when it comes to rape. Oh, well, they don't call it rape. They don't have rape over there. It's just sex. You know, I never got too personal with her stories, but she alludes to the fact that she's had to deal with it too, you know. She's been in a couple episodes, just me running into her walking by in the street. She came over with the Operation African Dumbo Drop during COVID, but she's very cool. Like if they were all like her, very Christian, very nice, super sweet, old doll, you know, and not into crime, not into fucking, you know, all the shit. But she's an outlier. She's an outlier among her people. She's like one in, I don't know how many. Only one in many, you know. Same thing with like every group. There's always people, like I was talking to one of the Freds today in the comments about Jews and like Jews that he had in his life, and I had very close Jews in my life, you know, a guy I would probably consider a brother. And I lived with him and his brother for many years, and had Jewish girlfriends. And this was before I was red-pilled on anything they did. I thought they were just like a religious group that wore funny hats and had a bar mitzvah. I knew they hated Jesus. But there was one girlfriend I had a couple girlfriends that were Jewish. One of them, a couple of years ago when I first came to Hawaii, kind of got mad at me because of my Instagram, because of some memes I was posting, and you know, it was Instagram, so they weren't too hardcore. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I bet you don't believe in the Holocaust either." And I'm like, "I don't. What do you say to that? You know? No, I believe the Holocaust did happen. It was 9 gay guys on rollerblades. They get hit by a Subaru, which may or may have not been driven by a ancestor of Sarah McLachlan. It was a horrible tragedy. It was a Judeo-Christian tragedy. Some of those gay rollerbladers are Jews and some are Christians. It's fucking sad. And I'd never done that to happen. But yeah, she started freaking out like that. And then I think about her, and she used to like, she had a thing about Jesus in her bedroom, like this, a degraded kind of like Christ statue, all painted on, like, she had this thing, these stickers that said Jews for Jesus. She was always making fun of Christianity, like saying real bad shit about it. I didn't care, I just kind of laughed, whatever, I didn't know. I wasn't into religion back then, you know. This is, when did I see her, like 2004? 2005? But yeah, she can talk shit like that all the time. But, you know, God forbid, I have a meme about circumcision, and, you know, one of those rabbis sucking baby dick. And next thing you know, I don't believe in the Holocaust. I guess I do believe in the Holocaust. There's a gay rights issue too. And being LGTB, I was all over that. But yeah, I ran into Cheeto, and you know, she must have been in that group, or part of that program, whatever the hell it is. She's got a nice place, you know. Way nicer than mine, way nicer. Like mine is basically, it's the studio apartment. You know, you get the bathroom there, and you got like a little side thing where you have what would be a kitchen. It's small. I mean, it's plenty for us because I'm outside a lot, and you know, in Hawaii it's really nice. Not many people are like shut-ins here, you know. Like I was most of my life, but her place is 2 big bedrooms, a washer and a dryer, a separate kitchen, a big living room, a porch you walk out onto with its own private lanai, and she pays less than us. But I think it's part of the, you know, whatever that deal is, where they deal with pay a certain amount of their income. So, yeah, she got here like 5 years ago. So I know she's in that crew, and I've kind of asked her about it, but I don't fucking want to get, I don't know, I don't want her to think I'm like probing her for information. She's been so nice to me. Hey, how you doing, man? I see you all the time now. It's crazy. You know, I would never want to offend her, you know. She's like one of the good friends I have here. You know, we communicate with her every day. She sends me prayers in the morning. Like a prayer that she sends out to people. Nia gets one too. It's just a chain text, I think. No, not many people get it, but I get it every day. And it has different Bible quotes, and it's weird how many times that thing is relevant to what I'm going through at the time. It's almost like the Bible. I did a video a long time ago called The Bible Speaks, and this is considered bad by Christians. They consider this divination. You're absolutely not supposed to do this. But sometimes when I'm feeling down, she inspires me without a sound. She touches me and I get turned around. She's got away, Illuminati confirmed. So, and I'll just open the book, just randomly, and it will talk about my situation in some way. It'll address what I'm going through. It's very weird. You know, I was giving some examples of it in a video I did a long time ago about it. And yeah, it does that. Now, Christians will say that's divination. And you absolutely should not do that. And they'll tell you, you're going to hell. They get fucking orgasmic when they tell somebody they're going to hell. They get like, oh, that's right, you're going to hell. They love telling you you're going to hell. It's fucked up. I mean, they push more people away from Christ than they bring people to Christ. It's not even about Christ for a lot of them. You know, it's about not ending up slipping back into drugs and alcohol and doing jobs at a bus station. So they're so paranoid about that they want to make sure you follow Christianity the right way, or else they're going to be back at the bus station. It's like, look, I feel for you, but I guess I'm too thoughtful. I have too many questions. I'm not going to blindly follow something. And they have this thing too. They're always trying to. They're in competition with each other to see who can remember how many Psalms, or how many parts of Bible or Scripture, and they'll purity spiral over it. Like they'll show off what they've memorized. You know, it's everything that it's not, that I don't feel it's really about. Now, I would never try to tell anyone what it's about. You know, I don't think it's right what they do. Here's how you do it. No, I don't think it's what is required, what they do. But what is required is beyond my, I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I try to be a little bit of a missionary when I can, because we're all supposed to be, right? But yeah, I don't like to tell people things like that, like how to do things or what I think the right way is. Fuck it. What do I know? I'm still trying to figure it all out myself, you know. But yeah, I describe myself and call myself a Christian because of all the teachings of Christ, you know. Hang on a second. How you doing?
Hi.
Let me get it. Oh, I had it 2 minutes ago.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. How we going?
Have a good one, man.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so I use the name, like I call myself that, mainly just because this is a time when they're really coming after Christians. I saw this thing the other day, a couple headlines like this, about how, was it in the UK? Someone's getting arrested for preaching Christianity. You're gonna, and at the time when the person made the video, first of all, let me fucking say 3 things at once here. I'm always ahead of everything. By 2 to 6 months. This one was a couple years. I was telling people, hey, the end game here is to outlaw Christianity. The way I was thinking they would do it at the time is to say it's a threat to maybe certain groups, special interest groups, or the harmony of society, because the FBI got caught planting plants in Orthodox Christian churches, like infiltrated them as guys, as different guys. Now, they got caught doing this because there was another case that they were following that crossed over with this one, so they just happened to get revealed. And I remember saying at the time, like, they're going to outlaw it. You know, Jesus kind of hinted at that. He said that was like going to happen, you know, or he intimated that it would be outlawed in some way, and that's what we've always thought. And to hear that, you're like, yeah, whatever. Fucking, and then you have like the blue people, the fucking, the Team Blue people. Who's keeping you from worshipping whatever you want? You fascist? So it's like, and I'm not saying they're, any better than the red people. They're all fucking retarded. That's not a false dichotomy. But hold on a second. By Murdoch with a cross in the fucking river. And there's other people that got lost in the river with blue and red. Blue, red, blue, red. And Arthur Donald falls in. Fucking great show. There's a channel that keeps doing features on Murdoch, and they post clips and stuff, and it's pretty cool. That's how I got my very first band, from posting Murdoch clips on my very first video. So yeah, they've been kind of watching me from the fucking beginning. But yeah, this is what they're going to ultimately do, and now I'm starting to see more stories like this. I've seen them before, where they're like skirting around the outskirts of making Christianity, criminalizing Christianity. And they will do it. They have to do it. And this is going to be how. It's going to be little small things like this, and then you're going to be, it's not outrageous, and they have to do it this way. They can't just say, from now on, Christianity is, they have to do it. They have to frog in the water you. They got to turn the heat up slowly. It's all going to be little shit like this. And then it'll be like, well, you can't do it in public. And they'll be like, you have to worship in these kind of buildings. You can't be caught worshiping at home because it's a hive for white supremacy, or it's a hive for action against LGBT people. There's too many. We love that you have your own religion and all this stuff, but there's too many bad apples. And since white supremacy is the biggest problem in the United States, that's what they say, like a straight face. Where are they? Who are they? I want to hang out with them. I want to join them. They're not around. It's not, when I'm going to the store at 11:30 at night, I'm looking at the corner to make sure it's not white supremacy I'm looking for, But actually, fucking 5 years ago, I didn't have to look at all. I didn't have that problem at all. But they everywhere there's white people now, they're making sure that problem exists, as they're shoving people all over the world from the Dark Continent and other areas like at Haiti. And the new thing now, and there was a story I saw from Scotland, and I saw one in Ireland too recently, and they've been doing it in the UK for years anyway, with the help of the BBC channel. It's not just enough for them to now put Africans in all these places where they usually weren't, and they could never have gotten there anyway without the help of outside forces. Echo, echo, echo. Now the new thing is, they not only were they always there, but they were there before the native people. Like this Scottish story that Count Dankula was covering about how there's this tribe trying to reclaim land over in Scotland, saying they were there before anyone, with this big, long, kind of convoluted story. Same thing in Ireland. They were saying that they were there before. Now they do have the Moors situation, which might give them a foothold in that story. The Moors were black, and they enslaved my people, the Irish. They enslaved us, and we were the first slaves brought to the United States, was the Irish. But we don't want no reparations, not from them. Look, it was a long time ago, right? None of us were alive back then, and none of us have any connection to it now. You got to get over things. You just got to get over things. So we got over it. And so we're not going to hold the blacks accountable, ask them for reparations or anything. But the BBC has also been doing this, and they have these historical documentaries or shows or biographies where they're always inserting African people. And it's so freaking noticeable. Even the characters have talked about it. I've seen this one, what was it? Like, it was a woman's name, famous story that was a book. And like two characters, and it's strange to see Africans here. Yep, that's the part of history they try to keep you away from. like the characters are talking like that, like as if to say secretly they were always here, but didn't want you to know because they just didn't. Yeah, their weird story is basically this, is that black people were everywhere, they had everything on this land, and like the Asians and white people came from outer space, apparently. I don't know about, I mean, I know there's no space, so I know that can't be right. And we came from space and like took all their stuff, and we made it so that they can't rebuild the stuff. They're like NASA, I guess, when they ask why they can't go to the moon. We don't have that technology. We lost the technology. We'd go back in a nanosecond. That NASA guy, I forget his name. You'd probably know him if you saw him or heard his name. Don Pettit. Yeah, he's just talking about NASA, asking, hey, how come we've never been back to the moon? I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but it's very complex technology, and we don't have the technology anymore. We lost it. And it would take a lot of work and to rebuild that technology. It's like, well, what do you mean? You had it in the 60s, but it just makes no sense. But what these guys are banking on is that most people are retarded. And, you know, he's right. So, you know, the only people like me would be like, what the fuck is you talking about? You know, other people would watch that and it would just go over their head. They'd think, yeah, we had the technology. You know, they had to think about it. Ask them about it. They'd say, yeah, he just said they used to have the technology, but they don't anymore. They lost it. NASA's big. They got a lot of shit over there. You know what I mean? So they can... There's no conspiracy. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, was everybody in on it? No, nobody was in on it. It's just life. It's not conspiracy. It's just life. It's how the system is. It's the fucking shit quilt. Everything's fake. Everything's phony. If there was anything real, it would stand out like a sore thumb. And then you'd stand back from the picture and go, wait a minute, all this other shit's fake. So they can't have anything be real. They can't have any reality there. Or else none of it would work. The whole thing would fall apart. I don't think we're going to solve any of these problems today in the Schizo Barrage, though. So I'm going to go upstairs and stare at the wall for a while. I'm going to have Craig up again this week to do some more stuff in here. I just put out the last video footage I had talking about how when he worked with some Orthodox Jews in New York. Pretty funny story. They're great to work for, I guess. And it goes to, like we were talking about earlier, it's not all of them. There are outliers. It's just usually the outliers are so few that, you know, it's the pit bull coming up the street situation. Like, he could be one of the good ones, but I'm not going to risk my leg on it. You know, don't let 98% of the bad apples spoil the whole bunch, girl. Thanks for dropping in. Until next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.